Had a dream I was a pheasant, a massive sexual wank pheasant. The WTF moments, that's me game. Yeah, I'm really tired of Sasha Banks putting crap on social media. Will you just say if you're going to go or if you're going to stay? It's doing my tits in, man, Sasha.
WTF! WTF!
Bon! Je m'appelle Ross Twiddell from Cultaholic.com. You're a sexual wank pheasant, and welcome to all the WTF moments from last night's episode of WWE Raw, an episode of Raw that was really fun. Lots of things happened. They were in different directions from start to finish. Raw was quite engaging, quite captivating. A couple of low parts, but fun just about all the way through. Kel Surprise. So we learned last night that WWE Raw has an opening title sequence thing, and I had no idea that WWE Raw here in 2019 had an opening title credits sequence thing. And of course, as you would expect, it's nowhere near as good as ha 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 in your eye, because of course nothing to do with WWE Raw and opening credit title sequence things is going to be as good as ha 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 in your eye. Anyway, the real WTF moment to do with those opening credit title sequence thing is the fifth superstar you see on the flagship show of WWE. It's Bobby Pissin Roode. You remember Bobby Roode, don't you? He wrestled for WWE between 2017 and 2019, and before that was even NXT champion. You remember him, man, of course you do. They made him grow a massive sexy mustache that was everything every man on the planet should aspire to be, then more, but then for some reason he grew a full beard, and he also likes beer and money, and is also now dead. And I've nicked this point directly from Reddit because I'm not quite that sad. I'm almost that sad, but not quite. They used footage from Armageddon 2008 of Ronald Mysterious, and that's scandalous because he's wrestled a bit since then, just a little bit, but a bit all the same. Now imagine you're in court, right? You've been accused of attempted murder. There is no concrete evidence whatsoever to suggest you've got anything to do with this attempted murder, but the judge stands there and says, well guys, there's been a poll done on WWE.com and 80% of the WWE universe believes you did it. So by the power invested in me by the Church of England, I now pronounce you guilty, Samoa Joe. Basically, what's the start of last night's Raw? Even though Samoa Joe should be a lying heel, I felt sorry for him. He was right. Michael Cole, on the other hand, is a goon. What the hell does that say? What? Women's tag team championship? What? Oh, I completely forgot when the history-making, groundbreaking, trailblazing World Wrestling Entertainment broke down the walls. They erected themselves to give the women of WWE more championship titles to fight for before erecting those walls once again so nobody could see the pissing things. But wait there, boys and girls, there's more! What the hell does that say there? It says Kabuki Warriors, but we haven't seen them for so pissing long. I can't read, apparently. Now, just in case you don't know, that there is Asuka and Kairi Sane, who used to be really good when I was a very small boy. But then, for some reason, WWE put them in a meaningless tag team just because they're Asian, and then didn't use them for a very long time, despite the fact they had Paigey to speak the words for them. And speaking of Paige, why the hell not Charlotte? What are you doing? Me microphone. That's not how you lick a hand when you're trying to give Trish Stratus some sort of stratisfaction. You do it just like this, displayed wonderfully by my close personal friend Kenneth McIntosh of Inside the Ropes fame. Maggle. Maggle Cole claims that Charlotte Flair is an 8-time women's champion. Corey Graves replies to Michael Cole by saying, whoa there, Maggle, she's a 9-time champ, you pleb. And then Maggle replies to Corey Graves, well, yeah, Corey, if you include her NXT title reign, that's good of you, Corey. Would you like a biscuit? But as far as I can see, a man who can log on to the interweb, look at Wikipedia, scroll down to championships and accomplishments and read what was written on the screen, Charlotte Flair won NXT Women's Championship, 1 Divas Championship, 4 Raw Women's Championships, and 4 SmackDown ones as well. And if you add all those up, I think you get 10. So basically, Michael Cole, no matter what you say, you're always wrong. And back to Michael Cole we go once again, who said Natalya trying to make Becky Lynch tap out with her own move. It's not the disarmer though, is it? That's a standard armbar, Michael, you silly goose. Disarmer, it's a completely different move. You pull that way instead of... I don't know.
What she say? Say, shut up, Renee. What she say? Say, shut up, Renee.
Here's a direct quote from Renee Young from last night's Raw when she said Trish has always had so much spunk. But how, Renee? Trish doesn't have any grapefruits. I've lost it. WWE told us to tune into last night's Raw because just announced a few hours before the show went on the air, Trish Stratus was making her in-ring return. She was going to wrestle, therefore you had to watch. However, what actually transpired was Trish Stratus going, tag us in, for about 10 minutes before she did nothing. Now, of course, I fully understand because a Trish Stratus in-ring return, the bloody legend that she is, should not be diluted by a meaningless tag team match on Raw a few days before a big in-ring return is supposed to happen. But WWE, why the hell book you into a corner and then do that? Arseholes. Now, no doubt some of you watching last night's Raw and listened to the commentary team talk about how Andrade knows the prestige of wearing a mask, a lucha libre. He knows what it means. He knows how special it is. He knows how downright dirty and disgusting it is to rip a mask off a lucha libre legend like Ronald Mysterious. And I bet some of you are also wondering, if he knows about it so much and he used to wear a mask, then why is he not wearing one now? Surely, since he's not wearing one now, he can't care that much, can he? Now let me fill in the blank the commentary team on WWE TV doesn't for some reason, and let me tell you that Andrade, while wrestling as La Sombra, lost his mask in a match to Atlantis at CMLL's 82nd anniversary show. He didn't stop wearing it because he was clammy, and he thought, oh, wait, I'm a good-looking man, me. Let's get me face out for the world to see. A man literally took that mask from him, and there was nothing he could do about it. Well, there was. He could have won the match, but you know what I mean. And I thought I needed to tell you that, just in case you didn't know, because in terms of what the commentary team was saying on last night's Raw, it was quite an important point to what they were trying to say. Now, I don't know about you, but I do not think that's Kurt Angle's body, because Kurt Angle right there in that picture looks like an uncircumcised foreskin. And now it's time for this.
Wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Wankety Wank, the section of WTF Moments where you spot something I've missed and I give you all the credit because we're all wholesome boys here now. Thank you very much goes out to Kayla for pointing out something that could be true but also something that could be a lie, but I trust her because she tweets us all the time and stuff and she seems quite nice. That's not a set, everybody, that's a real waiting room. Yeah, that's a waiting room in the same way that thing there is a dog. Now, I know this is a point that could be brought up about every single WWE show, but certain instances, just like this one here, makes you wonder why the hell WWE shoot their shows as if the superstars don't know the cameras are there, even though they must know the cameras are there. Why the hell is a camera there to watch Maria Kanellis have a woman look up her uterus? Why is that there? I know Maria's a weird, abusive dominatrix thing and Mike Kanellis is a cook with a capital C, but surely Maria doesn't want whatever was going to happen there broadcast in front of the world. Or is she really that weird? Still though, everything to do with the 24/7 championship, great, isn't it? So Seth Rollins turning up the last night's Raw after what did to him on last week's Raw proves to Paul Heyman beyond a shadow of a doubt that Seth Rollins has more balls than he does brains. Now I've taken a look at Room 605 in the past. I have listened and read and endured every single interview and tweet Seth Rollins has done over the past few months, and I'm left asking Paul Heyman, a man as clever as you, how the hell has it taken you this long to work that out? His bowels are quite sizable, but his brain's really small. Now let's take a look at last week's news, shall we, boys and girls? WWE tried to make Seth Rollins cool. So let's of course take a look at this week's Seth Rollins. He came out with his hat on back to front, and that's cool, boys and girls, because we are living in 1993. Of course, that seems just about right, coming from WWE, who have proven time and time and time again that they have no idea how to do cool, and that is coming from an obese man who is wearing a shirt that says, "I'm your pappy." If you don't have Twitter, if you don't read the news, if you don't have eyes, and if you don't have ears, and if you don't know who Seth Rollins is, that segment there where Rollins got beat up once again by Brock Lesnar Lesnar worked by making you feel sorry for Seth Rollins. But if you do have Twitter, if you do read the news, if you do have eyes, if you do have ears, and if you do know who Seth Rollins is, that segment there where Brock Lesnar beat up Seth Rollins, once again trying to make you feel sorry for Seth Rollins, it didn't work, did it? To be quite honest with you, Seth Rollins has proved in the last few months that he is quite a massive arsehole. So here I am watching last night's Raw, supporting the mercenary who doesn't care about the fans, who doesn't care about the purity of professional wrestling, who takes the Universal Championship hostage every single time he wins it. I was supporting him last night against Seth Rollins, and that's not right, is it? But of course, boys and girls, Seth is wearing his cap backwards, so isn't he so cool, guys? Another WTF moment there. I was shocked that Michael Cole wasn't saying that phrase there 100 times on that segment last night. But sticking with that segment from last night's Raw, when I was watching it, I thought to myself, I remember something Seth Rollins told the Daily Star not so long ago, how he thought that intergender wrestling in WWE was quite unrealistic.
Our business is based in realism a little bit. Ha ha ha. So let's do that the best we can. Ha ha ha. I think let's live in a reality a little bit here. Ha ha ha.
Seth Rollins said. Now, leading on from that quote there, does anybody else think that the very concept of a man like Seth Rollins beating a man, beast, pig like Brock Lesnar, who of course is about 70-ish pounds heavier than Seth Rollins, much bigger than Seth Rollins, much stronger than Seth Rollins, a former UFC heavyweight champion, anybody think that Seth Rollins beating a man like Brock Lesnar is quite unrealistic? Because I think it is, quite frankly. So after watching what transpired in that segment on last night's Raw, Sethy Poo, I guess there's no point in watching you challenge Brock Lesnar for the Universal title at SummerSlam, because of course, when we're based in realism, a 90% injured you is just not going to beat a fully fit Brock Lesnar, is he? There's no way you can win if we're basing everything purely on realism, which is why professional wrestling is so great, because of the storytelling. That's what we like to see. That's why we tune in. Stop saying words, you huge dick. And here's a direct-ish quote from Seth Rollins from last night's Raw when he said,
I've always wanted to be a wrestler. This is all I've got.
We all know that's not true, Seth. You've got your coffee shop, you've got your professional wrestling training school, and you've got your real-life girlfriend, WWE superstar, current Raw Women's Champion, WWE 2K20 cover star herself, Becky Lynch. Turn that frown upside down and stop, will you, man? It's alright, you've got plenty of stuff. Question: was Angelo Dawkins doing the beat and the melody while he was beatboxing at the same time? I think he was, which means I can't have been the only person thinking Angelo Dawkins, he's not completely useless now, is he? Too harsh from me there? I don't know. He's just been there for so long and done so little, and Montez Ford is just clearly so great, so I don't know, let's just shut up and move on, shall we?
What'd she say? Say, shut up, Renee.
So Renee's sitting there saying Luke Gallows, he was scary enough before he decided to paint his face paint like a backwards Spider-Man. And I don't know about you, but Renee's basically calling a paintless Luke Gallows ugly, and I think that's bullying and needs to be stopped. Renee, get in the bin, will you? Look at Luke Gallows' face there, man, without any paint. He looks like a giant baby who played with a little black Yorkie poo a bit too vigorously. The beard. Rest in peace, Yorkie poo. Now, I was very confused at this point of last night's Raw because Luke Gallows, he went back to his corner. He stood on the apron like a good boy, but the referee came up and was all like, no! Get down! Stop it! No! What are you doing, man? Did that referee forget that match on last night's Raw was a 6-man tag or something? But when you think about it, that there referee complaining about where Luke Gallows should have been standing when Luke Gallows was being a very good boy allowed the OC to do some dirty things to Ricochet, which means that as we stand here in 2019, the OC have found their modern day Nick Patrick. Hopefully. Oh, they've gone all action thriller again, and once again it was bloody crap. And this was mainly because they had none other than Shawn Stasiak fulfill the role of Rikishi in this hit and run kind of thing. Back in the day, of course, Rikishi sent Stone Cold Steve Austin arse over tit. But on last night's Raw, Shawn Stasiak saw Roman Reigns at one end of the car, but decided to hit his car into Roman's car at the other end, completely missing the big dog. It was like me trying to piss inside the toilet after a night out. Or ever, really. I get kind of close, but not really. But at least we can rule out Daniel Bryan and or Rowan from that attack from last night's Raw, because that car there did not sound electric, and Daniel Bryan and Rowan, they don't drive petrol or diesel because they care about the trees and the birds and whatnot.
Made a grave mistake, Corey.
So So Corey claims that Roman Reigns has got to be the most unlucky man walking the planet, even though on the last 2 televised WWE shows, Roman Reigns has walked away from attempted murder attempts. Surely, Corey, if he was the most unlucky man in the world, he wouldn't have walked away from those 2 attempted murder attempts. I guess this sort of thing depends on your perspective. I would say that Roman Reigns was a very lucky big dog, indeed. Or maybe he's a big cat, oh God, with 9 lives. But speaking about the big dog, it looks like we finally know why Michael Cole shouted all the pissing time. No, it's not because Roman Reigns is making his entrance during a WWE show. It's because Michael Cole has his iPad on the desk in front of him, he gets a notification, and he sees his own very big dog. What a good lad it looks like. Dun 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 dun. Now I don't know what to say here. I know they haven't been around for a while, Kevin Dunn, but Jesus Christ, man, how But was it just me imagining Bruce Pritchard or someone sitting next to Vince McMahon and saying, "Hey Vince, that name thing there, it's wrong." And Vince McMahon shouting at the top of his lungs while losing his grapefruits, "Who the hell is Shirai? Because that's what it looks like, kind of. The line of the night happened on last night's Raw when Corey Graves talked about scurvy. Everyone had a great time. Michael Cole did that farty noise laugh thing he does because fun, cool. And then he said that's got to be the first time scurvy was mentioned ever on WWE Raw. You're not telling me, surely, Michael Cole, that scurvy wasn't mentioned when the likes of Jean-Pierre Lafitte was on Raw? Or maybe when Paul Burchill made a couple of swings down from the rafters? It's got to have been. I'm not going to check, because really it means nothing. But you know what I mean. Dun 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 dun. New Raw Women's Tag Team Champions. There's 2 of them. You're telling me, Kevin, the current titles are going to be assigned to Raw, and a new Women's Tag Team division is going to be formed on SmackDown Live? Woo! I mean, WWE have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt just how well they know how to book and use a Women's Tag Team division, so why the hell not create a new one? It's exactly what they need. And then Goldberg came back. And I love Goldberg. Him and Sting, that VHS I talked about during the Super Showdown WTF Moments, the first one I saw, Sting and Goldberg, got me hooked on professional wrestling. But as I stand here in 2019, I don't want to see Dolph Ziggler versus Goldberg. I know it'll be fine because Dolph Ziggler will bump his bleach blonde arse off for 5 minutes. But once again, Ziggler, an already broken character who has lost way too many big matches for us to care about anymore, well, he will lose yet another career-killer match to Goldberg, who is an old man, who has nothing to prove really, because all he can do these days is 5-minute squash matches, and I'm really conflicted. I don't think I'm looking forward to this match whatsoever. I mean, ask yourself at home, are you really excited to see this match? I hate Dolph Ziggler more than anybody else in the world, well, his character anyway. It's broken, it's beyond repair. He's going to get squashed again, presumably. Do we want to see that? What does it achieve? But for weeks now, the show-off, the cocky heel character Dolph Ziggler says Goldberg's rubbish. Look at the state of him in Saudi Arabia, trying to kill The Undertaker. What a reckless bastard. Goldberg comes back, Ziggler gets put in a match with Goldberg, Ziggler cries and screams and runs away. I don't know why. Shouldn't this be easy for Dolph? I know you get the sort of heel like The Miz was back in the day, the chicken poo kind of heel who runs away, but Ziggler thinks he's all that, shows off and whatnot. He's not chicken poo, is he? I don't know. I still don't care. That's it, goodbye. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below. You can follow us on Twitter @Cultaholic. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. And if you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can play us to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Cultaholic. Hit subscribe and join us.